Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh? You young niggas ain't tough. You young niggas ain't tough enough. I don't think y'all really want to fuck with us. I told you we know bitches. I'ma need for you to listen while I
I love Yahushua with all my heart.
That's right.
And all my soul.
Right.
And I work for him and plead and cry for the children of Israel to watch over them and protect them and take care of them. I beg the Most High every day to raise up warriors. I pray every day that the Lord can kill us off the street and bring them to me, so that I can bring them before Yahushua and they can serve him.
That's right.
I want them for a reason. I want them so they can clean up the ghetto, so they can fix families, so they can raise children, so they can protect the city, so they can tear down the oppression, so they can turn to the Lord and raise the kingdom of heaven before man on this earth.
That's right.
Is that why you are here? Are you sure?
Hey, I'm Officer Priest, 5,000 to Bar Mob, ISUPK. I'm the Commanding General Yohana. You already know what time it is, baby. Hebrew Academy time. And I've seen a lot of brothers standing up, saying they ready to go to Hebrew Academy. But this right here, you can lose a leg, you can lose a leg, lose a lung, you can lose a finger. I mean, it is what it is. So stand for it. Lord be with you.
This isn't, the U.S. Army. This isn't the Boy Scouts. This isn't, baseball team. We're not going to accept everybody.
Proud Boys.
The Proud Boys. You can't be up in here and be a coward, man.
When you get out there and it seems as though it's a real test of will, the actual reality is truly to see if you would abandon your brother. Hebrew Academy is a process to weed out those who have it in them to be traitors and cowards.
That's right.
You understand? And so when you go through this process, when that monkey get on your back and tell you you're too tired to keep going, your legs hurt too much to keep going, you got to snap back to it and have some snap and say to yourself, you know what? This is a place I'm going to come learn how to physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually fight, and I'm going to push through. Because it ain't just about me, it's about we.
But if you choose to be part of the Hebrew Academy,
I chose to be part of the Hebrew Academy, man, because I wanted to be trained up to be a soldier, man. I wanted to fight for Yahushua and his people, man. I wanted to raise my people from the dead, man. I knew this was the only place to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then when I found out that the Hebrew Academy was an elite group of soldiers, man, who lay down their life for their brothers and their sisters, man, I said I had to.
now what makes you think that you are so worthy to stand among the ranks of men who have bled for decades to uphold this truth and wear the cover?
My mate, sir.
Come on.
I gotta prove myself. I gotta stand strong, sir. Gotta get the opportunity to. And I have no choice if I may, sir. The other choice is going back in the world and dying like everybody else. I ain't got nothing to go back to.
I want to be part of an army, a big brotherhood, a loyal brotherhood, and rolling into the Hebrew Academy can make me a better man. That's what I gotta do.
So you're saying the Hebrew Academy is the right thing for you at this juncture in your life?
Come, sir. As a young man in this world, yeah, come, sir.
Most High Christ. So you think that you really have the balls to go through with this Hebrew Academy?
Come, sir. Big ones too.
Yeah, listen, this is suffering, you know that, right?
Come, sir.
You're gonna have to suffer with your brothers.
Come, sir.
Are you willing to endure to the end?
Come.
You sure?
Come.
And Most High Christ. Now what makes you think that you deserve a seat next to men who have sweat for decades
to build this truth.
What makes you think that?
Yeah. What makes you think that you should be part of it?
Because I feel like I've been called by the Lord. Unless I give it to you like that.
That's it?
Times, right?
Most high in Christ, brother. I appreciate you, brother.
I'd rather die like a man than live like a coward. There's a ghetto up in heaven and it's ours. Black power, 144,000. I'm just trying to make the 144,000. 144,000. I'm just trying to make the 144,000. One body, one.
ISUPK presents Hebrew Academy Class of 2022. To enroll, contact the camp leader in your city or city near you. Visit www.isupk.com. Shalom.
Let's go to war and die defending this nation if we gotta. Ain't no stopping us now. The chosen people of the power, standing strong like a man. Cause in our camp it ain't no cowards. 144 grand, nigga is kept before the sun. Rather die like a man than live like a coward. There's a ghetto up in heaven and it's ours. I'd rather die like a man than live like a coward. There's a ghetto up in heaven and it's ours.
Yeah, of Belshazzar. Belshazzar was a grandson of Nebuchadnezzar. Go sit down in the library and read.
The Greeks and the Romans took these records from the Israelites and they named it Biblos. That's how the name Bible came about, which means composition, which means a collection of compositions. Whose compositions did they collect? The Israelites.
Brothers and sisters, you got to learn a lesson today. The lesson you got to learn is how difficult it is to do this job. Because it is a hated profession, because of how great it is, and because of how quick it can change your life. Y'all see this old robe I got on? This is an old boy right here. Let me let you take a quick look. When I step out, I slide over there. I want y'all to look at this robe. All right, you see this robe right here? This robe comes from my father, man. My mentor, my teacher. Chief Head Priest Ariel. I'm gonna tell you the story again if you haven't heard it. I was a young man, couldn't be no more than about 19. And they loaded me up in the van with Chief Head Priest Ariel. We went down to Brooklyn, man. In Brooklyn, they got an area where the so-called white Jews have a huge synagogue. Thousands of them in the neighborhood. At that time, it was a beef because a lot of the Judites and Benjamites owned the real estate in Brooklyn for years. And these so-called Jews wanted the real estate, they wanted the neighborhood. If you go down there today, they got the neighborhood and every piece of real estate they wanted. They took it all from blacks and Latinos and West Indians. Well, before they were able to take it, we went to Brooklyn. We went to prophesy on that street. And Chief Ariel, well, I wish I had a copy of it now. Chief Ariel opened up a Life magazine before the world and before them, and it shocked them. He showed them the archaeology that came from Egypt. And he said, how could you be a Jew when the Jews are black? Yes, right. And they got upset. And they called the cops. And they started threatening us. And Ariel stood his ground. He could have went home. He could have packed up the truth. He could have ran it, man. But he stood his ground, man. He stood his ground and he told them the truth about who they were and who we were and what they had done. And when the cops came up to Ariel and they said, listen, man, we know you got a permit to be out here, but we really wish you would go back up because, see, if we leave, we can't guarantee your safety, man. And Ariel said, we speaking the words of the Lord, and we ain't going nowhere.
That's right.
That's what he said. And the officer was trying to, be cool. He said, you don't understand. He said, you see that van over there? The van is filled with guys with machine guns. And if we leave out of here, I can't guarantee you what might happen out here. Ariel said, I don't think you heard me. We speaking the words of the Most High, and we ain't going nowhere. He became my father, and I became his son that day. I saw courage in a man, something that I didn't see in the Black community, man, in the Latino community, and the Native Indian community. I saw a man that was not afraid to stand up for the truth, no matter who came up against him, man. I saw a man that could persevere in the work of the Lord. When we got back, he could tell I was young and unsure about myself. I'm looking at him, he eating chicken like nothing ever happened. I'm looking at him like, could have got smoked out there. You know what I'm saying? He said, Johanna, let me tell you something. And this is on tape. Now, we looking for the tape now, right or wrong. We looking for the tape now, not at that time, but he said this later on. He told me, he said, Johanna, don't ever leave the truth, no matter what. He said, even if I leave the truth, don't ever leave the truth of the Most High power. And he was an excellent teacher. He knew when to say something to you, when it would impact you, when it would become a part of you. I've had this robe from him for 40 years, 40 years old. 40 years. He gave me this robe. He said, Johanna, see that robe there? Take that robe. Many men wore this robe. They come in there on the Sabbath service, because he kept the robe hung up on the rack in the Sabbath service. The room was about big here to that pole right there. Those of you that were back there, you know. And he kept it hung up. So when brothers would come in for the Sabbath service to teach, they go get his robe, daddy robe, hold on, and do the Sabbath service. One day I came in there, right after that incident, he said, Johanna, put that robe on. He said, that's yours. I said, thank you, sir. We believe we lost that great man this last week, and it broke our heart. It breaks our heart to lose any man, let alone men that have persevered in this truth, who have bonded with us in brotherhood, who have stood the test of time and shown themselves approved to bring forth the words of the Most High. We need warriors, man. We don't need warriors to sell drugs and to rape and to murder and to rob. We need warriors to save lives. That's what we need. We need brothers and sisters who are willing to stand the test of time and bring forth this truth. Ariel was one of them, man. He was an icon in this work. And when he got old, leaning on the pole, halfway out of his mind, like we all get to at one time, lesser men, I'm being nice, lesser men took advantage of that. Lesser men saw opportunity and they pounced on. Lesser men lost the scripture when Noah finally hit dry land and began to drink wine. from all the pain and suffering of 40 years, 40 days, or whatever it was that he was out there on that ocean. He finally sat down and drank that wine, and his son came in and saw him half naked and drunk and laughed at him. Laughed in his face. Dishonorable.
Right.
And Noah got up from that after his two other brothers who had honor backed their way in and covered up their father. Covered him up with honor and respect. And looked upon him and said, you know, we ought not to do that. When he got up from his wine, he cursed that Hamite son. I'm here to tell you, I am honoring our Father here tonight. I'm covering it up with the praise of honor and righteousness and respect for what he's done for 40 years.
That's right. Come here, SHALAM. Come here, SHALAM. Come here, SHALAM.
I say unto you that angry and hate him and curse him, I say to you, cast the first stone, you bastard. You cast it first. In this house, we honor the men that stand and walk and love the Most High and stand in His truth, man. We honor them, man. So, Ariel, man, get off the stage before I make a fool out of myself. Brothers start thinking I'm soft, crying every time. I'm crying over stuff. Right. I ain't gonna cry today. Y'all ain't getting that on camera. I love this man. It's like I love every one of y'all. My whole soul, my whole heart, man. You mean everything to me because I know you mean everything to Christ. And Christ means everything to me. So I say on the chief, head priest Ariel, who called for salute. You for one more time.
That's right.
I'm running Shabbat. I'm running Barak. Y'all want to show y'all shine right now. Come your SHALAM! Come your SHALAM! Come your SHALAM! Give me time. Yes. This is going. No cowards in our camp, and would let their colors fly. We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepared to die. We want no cowards in our camp, that would let their colors fly. We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepared to die. We want no cowards in our camp, that would let their colors fly. We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepared to die. We want no cowards in our camp, that would let their colors fly. We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepared to die. We want no cowards in our camp, that would let their colors fly. We want no cowards in our camp, only men prepared to die. We want no cowards in our camp, that would let their colors fly. We want no cowards in our camp,
Only man prepared to die.
Make sure you show respect, pay homage to the king. I'm one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I said I've been one West bred, one West vetted, one West pumping through my blood, don't forget it. One West in my brain, one West in my heart, one West when I'm finished, one West when I start. I'm the
Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments, tired of the Bible. The men above me shout, Boom Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Boom Yasha. Kingdom gods, all the heathens, forbidden. The chosen, bow down to no one. It was written. Men above me shout, Boom Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Boom Yasha. All day as we discuss how they don't like.
Israel, y'all look so beautiful. Salaki, you know. Y'all look so beautiful. Sisters and brothers, man. We're going to do this till our king returns.
Oil right there.
Get that oil, get that oil. Hey, this is your nation, man. You make sure you get your portion in the word, in the body.
Yeah. We not even done getting oil yet. They still pouring.
A medida fin de este imperio llega a su fin. Como todos los imperios malvados lo hacen, podemos ver que estamos saliendo de nuestra cautividad. En tiempos antiguos, el Señor escuchó nuestros gritos en los barracones de esclavos de Egipto. Y nos liberó de nuestros opresores tiránicos y malvados. Esta vez seremos testigos. Gran Rey Yahushua aparezca ante nosotros con miles y miles de ángeles. Una vez más para liberarnos de las manos de nuestros enemigos. Esta es la única esperanza a la que debemos aferrarnos. Al unirnos bajo las leyes, estatutos y mandamientos del Altísimo, estaremos preparados para el gran y santo día. Unidos como familia es el desafío.
más importante que enfrentamos hoy. Nuestros hermanos y hermanas latinos se reúnen desde Chile hasta las montañas de Bolivia, pasando por las líneas de Nazca en Perú y a través de Brasil. Estamos saliendo de Colombia y subiendo por la costa desde Ecuador, de Venezuela, Argentina y con los guerreros de Nicaragua. Guerreros de Nicaragua y El Salvador.
Give it up, give it up. ¡Eh, mi general!
Muchas gracias, primo. Desde las ruinas mayas en Guatemala y hasta la hermosa costa de Costa Rica, Belice, Honduras y más allá del canal en Panamá, hasta la tierra de los guerreros aztecas, nuestros hermanos y hermanas de México arriscan sus vidas cada día para elevarse como deberían ante el Altísimo. No olvidemos a nuestros hermanos puertorriqueños, cubanos y dominicanos uniéndose con nuestros hermanos haitianos y todas las islas del Caribe. Mis hermanos y hermanas latinos, mis hermanos y hermanas indígenas, mis hermanos y hermanos negros. Somos una familia y somos una raza. Y entraremos juntos en el reino de los cielos. Si lo obedecemos, what Yasha'Allah. And I'll give you the English translation real quick. Are we done with the oil? We still going? We still going with the oil? We done? I'll give you the English answer, all right? Everybody else? Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Get it in. Yabaraka Yahweh.
Yabaraka Yahweh.
Wayashamarka.
Ayashamarka.
Yahar Yahweh.
Yahar Yahweh.
Panyaw.
Panyawa.
Aliyakam.
Awyaka.
Wayakanka.
Wayakanka.
Yashar Yahweh.
Yashar Yahweh.
Panyaw.
Panyawa.
Aliyakam.
Awyaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Wayashamlaka.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Bahasham.
Bahasham.
Yahweh Shah.
Yahweh Shah.
Barak.
Barak.
Rapar.
Rapar.
Hagan.
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 Ha'akim.
Ha'akim. Ha'akim.
Bahasham Yahweh Shah.
Bahasham Yahweh Shah.
The one Aman.
The one Aman.
That's
what's up.
Any sisters that want to be anointed, please come up and be anointed. What we're doing is asking the Lord to bless you, heal you, shield you, and protect you from all the evil.
Man of war with hair wool, no idols, loving judgments. God of the Bible, the men above me shout, Yasha, and all the warriors be like, Yasha. Kingdom draws all the heathens, forbidden. The chosen bow down to no one. It was written. Men above me shout, Boom Yasha. And all the warriors be like, boom Yasha. All day as we discuss how they don't like.
I can make way for the sisters. Come on, sisters. If you having trouble, you have downs, you struggling with something, you fighting to understand something, you have some illness of some sort, you battling some forces, going to the one before the men of God, as always. And by the way, you sisters look absolutely fat.
Get a time check. 8:35.
All the sisters come forward. They want to be anointed. Let's go. And sisters, when we get to you saying your name, you're going to say Ha'akwafyan. Ha'akwafyan, which means the sisters. We're going to pray for all the sisters, all of you.
They say it's perfect. Then we repeat them 3 times. I said it again. Go get it. Listen, we're gonna look at the tape, beat ourselves up, get it back down. Time to back. Got one.
Captain's on the yard. Let me know when it's been done. Ha'akwafyan. Ha'akwafyan. Come on, sisters, if you're coming up, come on up, get that oil. Hit him up. Get that oil. Yeah, this is, oil already. You should come to the front so we can pray for you, even if you already. I was informed some sisters think they don't have to leave the table because they got oil. Yeah, come up to the front. Come up to the front. Come up to the front, sisters. It ain't gonna take but a second. Can somebody get a picture of these beautiful sisters? Y'all look like angels, man. Somebody get a picture of these sisters. You look amazing.
Waiting on your call, Captain Y'all. We ain't gonna do like we did when we left Egypt, where the brothers and sisters in the back got attacked by the Edomites. Right. We all that sister get some oil on her head. That's right. Some of y'all get your men to make it through for any sisters. Hey, any sisters with no oil, put your hand up. Put your hand up so they can get to you. Any sister that needs oil, put her hand up. Put your good. Waiting on you, Captain. Your call.
I don't know you. I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. And it's worth something.
This is Black Watch with Commanding General Yohana, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he made man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11.
Wait, I want to bring up something that somebody brought up about the ISUBK. Because it was brought up that about the ISUBK and about somebody asked about the ISUBK and about what was the specific question? I believe it was about the history. Some about the history. I'm trying to just remember what they asked. The 12 tribes. Oh, right, that's it. They said that Ariel did not come up with the 12 tribes, that it was Abba Bibbins that came up with the 12 tribes. Okay, let me just say this. Whoever said that is a dirty, stinking liar.
That's right.
Either they a liar, I don't want to just call them a liar outright. Either they lying or they do not know the history.
Right.
Now, listen to me good. I know I'm young and dashing.
That's right.
However, I have been around for a while. And I am in the ISUBK.
That's right.
So I know what went on in the ISUBK. Right. And I heard it from the horse's mouth. I ain't hearing this second part. I'm hearing this directly. And ask anybody. I was there back then with the heads and all that. And I sat down with them and asked. We out like we always do, out getting stuff for the school. I'm out with Mo, Ariel. I think Lahab was there, a couple of others. And I asked Ariel about it. And I said, Ariel, how did the 12 tribes come about? And they proceeded to go into the story. okay, about Ariel. First of all, Ariel used to work construction as a young man. And like I brought out in that documentary the brothers was making, he fell down an elevator shaft, 3-story, broke both his legs, was in traction, got in a wheelchair for 3 years. Ariel rode around, the doctor said he would never walk again. He rode around in a wheelchair for 3 years. And so naturally he couldn't go to camp, couldn't do a ton of things, couldn't even get up the stairs in the school. So he spent a ton of that time at home and he started to study the records and the history. Right. And he did this for years. And then he had the vision. Now this, I'm getting this from Mo and Ariel out their own mouth. I ain't getting this second party. I ain't talking to somebody that talked to them. I ain't talking to somebody from some other group. I was standing there in front of them when they was laying it out.
That's right.
More than one was laying it out. And that's when Ariel had the vision. Now, Ariel, this happened, Ariel was a young man, 18, 19, you know, like young men do, work construction, do different jobs. Bivens was over the school. Ariel was one of the ones coming up in the school. When he got the vision, of course, he brought it to Bivens. Bivens knew the vision was right. And of course, being the head of the school, Bivens brought it out to everybody. Just like I'm the head of the school. Brothers bring me stuff all the time and I bring it out. It don't mean I'm the one that created it or I'm the one that came up with it. So Bivens did not come up with it. Ariel is the one through the vision of the Lord. Now listen, you can say what you want. Ariel got the vision. That's who the Lord decided to give it to.
That's right.
And he got it and he passed it on. And then, and I remember, let me tell you something else that was heavy. Because this is what y'all don't know that I know. When I was there and I'm talking to Ariel about it, Ariel said to me personally, he said, Johanna, but you know what's the amazing part about it? I said, what, Ariel? He said, when I got the vision, we knew nothing about archaeology and history because the Israelite school of UBK didn't heavily go into archaeology until Yeshaya started going heavy. Like we had some artifacts about Israel being in Egypt, Israel being black, but we hadn't touched the Middle East till the 80s. We hadn't touched, not the Middle East, we hadn't touched the medieval times. We were still studying and developing those things during them times, back in the 80s. Once again, I was there. You ain't got the one. I'm telling you from the horse's mouth, being there in the room. Right. I know everything that went on in the UPK because I was there. So going back, so to go back to what I'm saying, so he said, you know, Johanna, we was not into the archaeology back when I got this vision. So even when I got it and wrote it down, it was strange to me. He said, this was strange to me that the Lord showing me these are the 12 tribes because we had no real connection to them. He said, and I started to study it. And what was even heavier was he said, I wasn't the one to start to bring it out. It was Yeshaya that started to bring it out. And that's when we all start digging up all this history, Russian icons, you know, nature knows no color line. We brought that back up. Lost tribes in promised lands. Went into all encyclopedias and start pulling all these records up. And to Ariel, that was like amazing in that he had gotten this vision, but he did not understand the vision. Not that he didn't understand it, but meaning he didn't have any proof that this was true. Right. He just knew it was true, and they just, Bivens and them went on the faith that they knew that this young brother was sincere with the truth. And so they went on, they said, okay, the Lord showed it to you, we're going to run with it. And they ran with it. And then later on is when now it's all out. Right. Every tribe, the history on the tribe, all of it came out. And boom, now we see that it was true. So anybody telling that ain't coming clean. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Anybody want to know the history of the UPK, you ain't got to wonder about it. I'm telling you, I was sitting in the room with Mo and them, Ariel and them. Lahar, Yeshaya Shaw. I live next to Yeshaya in Kazak's apartment. So you know I know everything that went on. I was the chicken man. I run the chicken. You know the chicken man, know everything. What are you talking about? You ain't gotta ask nobody. I was there. Okay, and let me tell you what was heavy about the UPK back then. See, let me explain to you how it went down. Go back. Let's for a minute, Maya. Rewind the time. Back in the turn of the century in the 1900s, white Jewish synagogues invested in black Jewish synagogues. Black Jewish synagogues started to emerge. What people don't understand is Matthews and all them cats back then, they was black synagogues, but they was not black synagogues like we think of black Hebrew Israelites today. They were black synagogues that were counterparts to their white synagogues. In other words, they wasn't saying the white man's the devil. They was treating themselves like they were Jewish conversions. Like the white Jews was the real Jews, but that they were black Jews by conversion. So they was respecting the white Jews. And that's what Matthews and them was doing. But here's what people don't know. Bivens was a real radical. Bivens was a radical. He came up from the South and he had learned about being an Israelite from the slaves. So he had that edge on him that the Lord wanted. He had that hate the white man edge that this guy is the enemy. So now he joined Matthews and them. They fellowshipping with white yeshivas, white synagogues. So Bivens in a jam here. So he had to break from them. And when he broke from them, that's when he set up his school on Fifth Avenue. And in his school, that's when they started to get radical. And see, Ariel was a young radical brother too, which is why he gravitated to Bivens. And Yaakov, you know, Yaakov was a two-gun gangster. When he come up from Florida, Yaakov used to carry two guns, tell me the stories all the time. In Johanna, I used to carry two guns all the time. Until one day, he always tell me the story, until one day he was in a bar and a cat came in to rob the bar. And he about to reach for his two guns. And he said he looked over to the side and and then he saw in the shadow that the stick-up guy had a backup guy that was already in the place with another gun, but he was already there before the stick-up guy came in. So he said if he would have pulled the two guns, the backup cat would have shot him. And he said to himself, you know what? The Lord want me to put these guns down. So he put his guns up. So Ariel, and Ariel being Yaakov's son, he was a radical too. Like these was not them old Jewish cats that's in them groups. That's why you ain't never hear about them cats. Because they was not called to raise up the prophet.
That's right.
They would have Jewish synagogues, and that's it. Anybody can open a Jewish synagogue. Old Testament, New Testament, the ones in Chicago, the ones in Dimona, none of them was like the ISUBK.
That's right.
And there's a reason for that. Because the ones in the ISUBK, there was a spirit of the Lord that was on them. And listen, show you how radical Bivens was. Now remember we're talking the 60s. In the height of the Nation of Islam, what's the one they killed? No, the Muslim. Malcolm X. Malcolm X doing speeches in Harlem. You know what I mean? They damn near running Chicago. And Abba Bivens is going on the street in Newark telling Muslims, you not no Muslims.
That's right.
You the lost chosen people of the Lord. That's how radical he was. Matthews and them was sitting up in there on Saturday with a sheet over their head praying to the Lord. Bivens was out there battling. He was radical. And when they killed Bivens, then of course it was a whole bunch of power grabbing in the school that Bivens had built. So Masha, Yaakov, took Yaakov's son Ariel, and the three of them came around the corner and rented 1 West 125th Street from Mr. Mills. Mr. Mills ran Mills Security. He had started Mills Security in the 60s, became wealthy but by giving black people jobs as security guards. He eventually bought the building. Once he bought the building, he knew them from around the corner and rented them out 1 West 125th Street. And that's how 1 West got started. And if you go back and check, they was trying to break from that whole vibe of the white Jews, because the whole reason it became universal, remember it's Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. Originally, it was the Israeli school of universal practical knowledge. Why? Because back then, everybody was, like I said, tied to the white Jews. But when they started the Israeli school of UPK, they were trying to break away from it because they had found out from the visions and the scriptures that those white people were not the Jews, but that in fact they were the real Jews. While Matthews and them was treating the white people like they were the Jews and the black people like they were conversions to the Jews. That's why some of them that went out to Ohio and Chicago named they synagogues Ethiopian Israelites or Ethiopian Jews. Why? Because they were trying to find a way to convert themselves in. Same time, ain't no black people Ethiopian. We come out of slavery. So why would you call it Ethiopian? Because you trying to convert to white Judaism. Even the outfits they wore came from the white Jewish rabbis. You understand? But they were but the Lord was working to break them out of it. So when they got around to One West, that's when they added universal practical knowledge. Because now it was a betwixt. Because back then, you had to come in and convert to Judaism. But here was a new radical idea where they were saying you no longer got to convert to Judaism. You are the real Jew. That's right. You are the people of the Lord. That's right. And that was radical at that time. And let me tell you something else too. The Israelite school of UPK, go check their history. Go check out the Nation of Islam. Go check out the Black Panther Party and the new Black Panther Party. Go check out the conscious community. Go check out every black so-called radical organization in America. Every last one of them in some way either work together, receive finance from, or work in concert with other white groups. Right. But what Yaquab and them did was completely unique. And really, if the history books were to be true and right, the Israelite School of UPK is the only black group that completely excludes every other nation. We are truly black radicals. We are truly different. You understand? We truly something that ain't like nobody else. And let me add something else if I could. It wasn't until the Lord showed Ariah, Yaquab, and Masha, Yaquab, and Ariah this truth that the word of being an Israelite even got spread. Right. Like all these Israelite synagogues been around all over the country. But why is it didn't get spread like a wildfire until these radical, real prophets came up? Like prophets do. Prophets don't come up soft. Scripture tell you that. But they come up rough. And them brothers was on a different vibe. And then Ariah and them came out, brother. And that's when we start hitting them streets. And they start taking the game out. And brother, before you know it, then the whole world, whenever you mention now an Israelite, the first thing out of people's mouth is, you talking about them guys on the street? Because now everybody look at an Israelite as us. But them groups, wasn't like that. And them groups later on, they began to become black Israelites. Because they wasn't black Israelites before. They was black Jewish synagogues. Right. That's what they was. They wasn't anti-white. Right. They was just black people following white Jewish tradition. It wasn't until the UPK at One West did the game change out. Right. Because that's when the Lord raised them prophets up. So, brother, let me tell you something. And I used to ask Mo and Ariana them thousands, like I was a young, silly man, asking them 1,000 questions a day. And I see why. I had to ask them questions because the Lord wanted me to know them answers, because one day I was going to have to answer other people about it. I was going to have to lay down this legacy. The Israelite School of UPK is absolutely unique from any black Israelite group. It is completely unique and in the hands of the Lord. It is not normal. You know what I'm saying? It is not what everybody else has been. And it pioneered, let's be clear, it pioneered being a black Israelite. Because before that, it was black Jewish. You know what I mean? Even when we started, again, Yaakov and them named it the Israeli school because Israeli was from the white Jews. Let's make it clear. Matthews did not raise up Bivens. Bivens joined them, but he could not stay with them for that same reason. And then a ton of groups came out of them, and all of them today, damn near all of them love white people. Some of them got a little radical, a little blackness on them. But the majority of them, brother, all will accept white conversions to Judaism. When you can't, there's no such thing as converting to Judaism.
That's right.
Either you of the bloodline or you not. The strangers that the Bible is talking about in the law ain't talking about heathens.
That's right.
The strangers is talking about is our people. In the New Testament, a lot of you get mixed up. That's why people was killing them people in them Christian groups back in the 70s. So they would read the Bible where Paul said a woman must entertain strangers. Y'all know the scripture. He said, have she entertained strangers? Right. So she bringing in people in her house off the street, and they killing her in the damn house because she think that means strangers like strangers of today. When Paul said she must entertain strangers, he's talking about Israelites that live in other parts of the country that come to that city and they are a stranger to that city. I mean, now she's supposed to be a sister under either her man or the priest, and then she put them brothers up. Like brothers do. Passover come around. High holy days come around. Brothers come in from out of town. Sisters put them up. That's the stranger. The stranger ain't, Tom Blow walking up the damn street. That's not what it's talking about. And in the Old Testament, where it says stranger, it ain't talking about no heathen. I don't know a whole half hour. When it's talking about stranger, it ain't talking about them other nations. Okay, y'all. Once again, the UPK where it started. You ain't got to go to know. Just ask me. I know I got all the answers. Every last one. You understand? You ain't got to worry. All this speculation. All this old speculation. But there ain't nothing to speculate about. I was there. I was sitting right there under Marsha and them feet. Marsha and them be sitting there holding counsel. I was sitting on the floor right there. On the edge of the podium while they holding counsel, breaking down everything that got to go on in the truth. Okay? So it ain't, I was sitting in Yaikov's classes back in the 80s. Okay? When Yaikov using the little chalkboard, I was in them classes. I saw everything that went on, and that is not true. We come out of our Bibbin school where we went into 1 West 125th Street. And the vision did not come to Bivens.
That's right.
The vision came to RER. And like a good servant of the Lord, Bivens took the vision and spread it, made the t-shirts, put it on covers of pamphlets, started teaching it on the street. And they went on for years until Yeshaya and Shah and Kazak and Lahab came in. And then they went on for years with it until we came in, myself, Aria Allah, Crazy Tahar, Yashawan. All of us came in afterwards and tons of brothers with us. Then it went, forget about it, global, all over the place. And now all you got now is cats out there trying to pretend like they know our history better than us. Right. No, you don't know our history better than us. Like I said, I was there. I'm from New York. I was in Harlem. I sat on the old wooden chairs at 1 West 125th Street. Wear your behind out after 3 hours. The classes back then was 7 to 10, not like y'all got 7 to 9. You 7 to 10, 3 hours a night, okay? And you had to be in there every night, okay? So that's how it went down. That's the legacy of 1 West 125th Street. The vision is real. And let me say this. Anybody that try to deny the vision, listen, regardless of what they think about Ariel, once again, I was there when Ariel did 9 unto miracles, brother, in this work of the Lord. Ariel and Mo and them pioneered being an Israelite across the world. Don't you know, back in the 60s, the Muslims was the biggest black organization in America. Okay, the damn government was spying on them. They were so scared of them. Right. CIA and FBI was so scared of them. That's how big they was. You didn't know nothing about no Hebrew Israelite. Mo and Ariel and them had to dig it out from the ground with them records and battle this truth all the way up into the 80s. From the 60s, they had to do that. And then from the 80s, got a little bit of help from Yeshaya, Shah, Kazak, and Lahar who then took the ball, you know what I'm saying, and pushed it up, went into the archaeology, went into the flying saucers, went into the whole military breakdown, went into all of that. And they helped build and foster it up until the 90s, to the early 80s, when we came in, when we didn't flourish really to the late 80s. We were basically in class and young brothers for 2 or 3 years, maybe 4 years. Then about mid-80s, that's when we start taking out tabs, teaching. Boom, boom. Late 80s, we go into other cities. 90s, we in other cities. All that is when it got spread out. So regardless of how you think, man, they did an amazing thing resurrecting this in the wake of Black Panthers, in the wake of Nation of Islam, in the wake of every Christian church. And listen, and if I could, the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers, they dismissed the Bible. The Black Panthers went with communism and said, we atheists, we ain't dealing with the Bible at all. You know what I mean? We dealing with Mao Zedong and, Mein Kampf. That's what they was reading. They was like, that Bible is garbage. The Nation of Islam was like, that Bible is tampered with. We dealing with the Quran. The Christians was like, this is our Bible. Jesus died for everybody. Y'all wrong. So for them to pioneer taking this Bible out and coming against all the Black leaders, and them groups work with each other. But for them brothers to take this knowledge that is in direct opposition to every Black leadership group and to pioneer and battle it on the street is only an act of the Most High.
That's right.
And now the Israelites, we like unstoppable.
That's right.
We unstoppable.
That's right.
And now it's like, you know what I'm saying? So they can say what they want. The Israelite school, UPK, is the school that was called by Yahweh. And right. Brother, and you have not begun to see what the Lord is going to do with this very body that he called on and ordained to bring forth this truth. You got to see what he's going to do. So whoever put that out, listen, let's let the record be set. Right. I was there. I was Marshall's bodyguard when he went on TV. I was there. Right. Okay. I was there when they played cards on Saturday night, played bid whist after the camp. I was there. I was there when they went to go buy the land. I was there. I was there when they taught them classes on the Sabbath service. When Ariel started dyeing his head, started combing it down straight. Everybody looked at her like, what is Ariel doing with his head? I was there. And they were like fathers to us, man. To reared us up with this knowledge and with love. So ain't no wonder in the Bible. And anybody, if you ain't in the ISUPK, watch your mouth. Yeah, right. Watch your mouth. You know what I mean? Somebody ask you something about us, tell them, ask us. Don't you go mouthing off with what you don't know. Go tell them to ask us. We know us. We know what we dealing with. You understand? We understand it. Like I said, I was there. Okay, so this nation is to go on. I'm done with it. That was a good one, right? That showed our whole world right there. You know what I mean? So much prophecy. It was so right how the Lord killed them for me about it. With that blade, he hit them with the very blade they were trying to use to kill us. Turned around, the Lord put it on them and made them mute, shut the mouths of the devils. You know what I'm saying? And the devil put it so right when he said, man, we will become your cattle. Man, so. All right, we back on it. Gonna give a couple quick shout outs right quick. All right. Let me go down here to the bottom of the list right here and start from the bottom up. You understand? The big shout out to Tiana Brown. Big shout out to you, sis. ECU07. Big shout out to you. All right, down in Durham. Ayah Bunyashakar, big up the Issachar. What's going on, Ayah? Shapat Bunya Hawada, big shout out to you. Shapat holding it down. Shawarya Allah holding it down. The line is hard. Shawarya said the line is hard, Jack. Hold it down. Tribe of Judah holding it down. Number 76. Excuse me. Big up to you, Emma Shirai Yisrael. Big up to you. Okay, Officer 5000 Magabar Thimba. Big shout out to you. Who else I got in here? The other Jew. What's up with that? The other Jew. I don't know about that. Yo 103. Big shout out to you. ISUBK Virgin Islands. Holding it down, brother. Right. Keep the fire going, baby. Keep it going. Big shout out to you. Big shout out to General Kubala Mom. Yakar Laha Quatazar. Big shout out to you. I think I got Emma Sharaf. Kerry Roberts. Big shout out to you. Shasha Magun. Big shout out to you. Isha Kapatazar. Did I get that right? Ka'apatazar. Big shout out to you. Who else? Brian Graves. Big shout out to you. Quarak. I think I got Quarak. Tamar Bach. Yahawada Prince. Port-au-Prince. Prince of Port-au-Prince. Big shout out to you. Big holding down the Levites out there in Haiti. Baba TV. Go down, Baba. Get it down. Baba TV. Big shout out to you, brother, holding it down with us tonight. K-Head, busy man up there, Baba TV, man, getting all that info out across the world. Big shout out to you. I get everybody else, I guess, a little bit later, man. Go hit us up on the text. If you got any questions, hit me up. I got the text open tonight. I'll try to answer any questions that you might have in the meantime. In the meantime, let's get to some of this killing, man. Because, of course, you know, none of the killing is slowed down, not one bit, going across this country. And why? And here's why it's so silly. It's so dumb to act like you could actually sit down and put a solution together for the killing of black people. Here's why you can't put a solution together for the killing of black people. Because the solution, the only solution to killing of black people is for those that are killing them to look at them in a light that means they should respect their lives. They're valuable. Meaning you can't, the only way you're gonna get a tiger to not kill the gazelle is you don't have to teach the tiger that the gazelle's life means something. Right. That you can't just randomly go killing gazelles because they ain't just animals. And unfortunately, the white man is not being taught that. So all this talk about we gotta have police training and we need body cams and we need all this other crap that they talking about we need. When what the hell does it matter if they have all that, if the person behind all of it hates you? Right. If he hates you and acts like he doesn't hate you when he puts that uniform on, then what the hell does it matter? Otherwise, listen, cops go through doors with Orientals, Arabs, East Indians, Africans, definitely other white people. Right. There's nothing happening to them. Right. There ain't nothing happening to them, but it is happening to us. Right. Which is why we have to love each other. Love our nation. That's why every brother and sister out there, you need to come into the ISUBK, the home of the truth. Right. This is where you're supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Because this is where the care for us and these 12 tribes has to become so intense that we raise the value of the lives of these brothers and sisters. And in doing so, we will force the other nations to understand and really know that even though they don't give a damn about our lives, we as a people of the Lord know how our value is, and we're not going to allow them to just do what the hell they want to do with us as a people. You know what I mean? Damn right, damn right. So let's go into it, if we could, gentlemen, please.
NYPD guns down yet another black person in mental distress.
In mental distress. They said that about half of the people that the NYPD kills that are black and Latino and Native American are because of mental distress. That's a lie, by the way. They killing us because they hate us. Right. They killing us because they got Klan members in the NYPD. They hate us because they've been taught by people like Giuliani to have a hatred of us and to handle us in an overly aggressive way. Right. Once again, and why does that happen? Because the same people that's policing you are the same people starving you. Right. The Nazis did it in the 40s, man. Okay? They did it back then. A long, long time. That was what? 60, 70, almost 80 years ago, the Nazis did the exact same thing. Go ahead, Doc.
This time in Brooklyn, New York. This story is becoming frighteningly more common and even more distressing. A person calls 911 to help a loved one in a mental health crisis, and said loved one is then shot and killed by police.
Now you wonder why did we implored that our brothers wake up to this truth, get properly trained, and go out on these streets and wake brothers up? Because here's the problem. This brother that we just reading about, Esau says has mental illness. Right. And the family says he got mental illness. Right. But here's what nobody understand. Nobody understand that the person that called the police for him, they suffering a mental illness too. And it's called brainwashing. That's right. It's called brainwashing into believing that your oppressor really is going to care about you. But if they had sent this brother to the ISUPK, he would have got excellent help. That's right. He would have been on his meds. He would have been fixed up right. And he would not be dead today. But the problem is we taught and believe that we believe that Esau is the solution to our problem when it comes to these brothers. Everything needs to fall to the ISUPK. That's right. It's a big responsibility. But brothers' lives will get saved. And once again, that Christian church is the one teaching us that to call the police because your son got mental illness. Right. Half of the reason is because a lot of you evil black women, you ain't got no husband at home, because who could live with your troglodyte behind? You know what I mean? Right. And nobody live with your Neanderthal behind. So of course, there ain't no man up in there. So now this boy got mental problems. He turned 17. He's big as the wall, and you ain't nothing you can do with him. So you have to call Esau. Right. When you should have been able to do is call the brothers. That's right. To say and call up the Officer Ahmad. Say, Officer Ahmad, this boy going off over here. So Ahmad could get in there with the van and 4 brothers and run up in there and knock on the door. Hey, Shalom, I heard you've been acting, what's going on? Man, you mother! And then at least he gonna live through that bit. Ahmad gonna put that rod kebab on him. Whap, whap! Drop him right quick. So he all right, y'all. Nobody heard him. Drag him out in the backyard, throw some water on him and say, man, you know you're supposed to take your meds out. You understand? And have him straighten the hell out and bring him on back home. Instead, you call the devil in there, and the devil's a murderer. Right. Go ahead, Doc. And listen, and the white man knew it. Once again, this real quick side thing. They did it to the Black Panthers. The Black Panthers are, you ever want to know where school breakfast programs came from, I got to give them credit where credit is due. That was started by the Black Panther Party. You understand? Now, of course, they didn't have the knowledge. But they knew enough to help their people enough to start the breakfast program. So they started a breakfast program feeding black people. And what did the white man do? He saw that and he could not have that. He can't have you feeding yourself, clothing yourself, securing your own neighborhood, shutting down the drugs. That's another thing. You telling me black men can't shut down the drugs in their own neighborhood? Please. You telling me drug addicts got more power than brothers that's not on drugs? Do that make any sense to you? Hell no. Hell no. But why is that? Because the laws is put in place to make sure you don't mess with them drug dealers. That's right. Make sure you don't mess with them drug addicts, to make sure the flow of the drugs are going. There was one time in America, back in the 70s, early 70s, do you know that a police officer did not have to report to anybody to do an investigation on it? Right. Police officer suspected you of selling drugs, he could investigate you and arrest you with the proof, and then the case would go to the district attorney. And the district attorney then would prosecute you. They stopped that. Now, detectives and all that got to work through different groups and different authorities with supervisors and all that. And the reason for that is to make sure them drugs keep flowing. Because every Jake that's living in the neighborhood, he'd know all the drug dealers and be like, no, y'all got to stop that. And he'd shut them all down, but he can't do that now. He got to report it to another precinct. They got to report it to another supervisor. Some other guy got to go down and check it out. Before you know it, somebody in that line is getting the check. And then it goes on. Give me some more.
This sad tale was told once again Monday afternoon.
John.
As a New York City police officer shot and killed 32-year-old Dwayne June.
This brother's dead. Go ahead.
At his apartment in the East Flatbush neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York.
Go ahead.
He died on the scene.
Good.
Dispatch reports this. 4 police officers responded to the 5th floor apartment around 12:30 p.m. after getting a 911 call from the man's mother, who said he was nonviolent but emotionally disturbed.
You see what I'm saying? That neighborhood should have had 100 Hebrews in that neighborhood.
That's right.
She should have been able to pick up that phone and say, "Hey, Shalom, brothers, he up there going off a bit." Not call the white man for that.
Right. That's right.
Not call the murderer with the gun for that. You understand? But of course, he don't want you to be free. He don't want you to serve the Lord. Go ahead, Doc.
The mother opened the door.
Come on.
And when officers walked in, the man charged towards them holding a large carving knife.
Right. Okay, he had a carving knife. You got tasers, stun guns, batons, flak jackets, crash helmets. Come on, man. Go ahead.
One officer
let me say this. And I shouldn't even have to say that. Because if you hired to be the protector, if I'm here, I'm on guard, right? And something break out on guard, it's my responsibility to make sure that I don't take this brother's life lightly. Even though he's in danger in my life, he's still a brother. So I got to stop him, but I ain't got to be, lightning fast to snatch his life out of him, man. Right. And certainly the white man does not do it with his own, right or wrong.
That's right.
He does not do that with his own. Right. So therefore, why the hell is he doing it with the Lord's? Go ahead, give me some more real quick. Come on. Speak it
up. One officer tased the man, which didn't slow him down. The second one shot him in the chest.
Which that's their version of the story. They say it didn't slow him down. Them tasers hit you, brother, 50,000 volts. Drop you in a second. Man, of course, that didn't slow him down. He was mentally ill and crazy. He didn't think about nothing. It don't matter what you're thinking about. Your muscles contract because of the electrical charge going through the muscles. Okay? You can stop. Go ahead.
Can I say something?
Come on, please.
And listen, so let me tell you something. What you said was right about brothers loving brothers, right? I never forget the one time when I was working in Esau's, whatever you want to call it, and that was in my former life, whatever. And it was a cat they was chasing, supposedly had a gun, right? I'm coming down the block, I'm with his Edomite, right? And I'm on the left-hand side. So I see the brother walk up the street. He looked like he was real tired, but he also looked like he was high. And I see them hugging a wall. I saw the left hand, but I didn't see the right hand. So I had drawn down on the brother. And I knew it was something there, but it wasn't enough for me to pull the trigger. So as I got close to the cat, it was close enough for me to do something to disable the man. So I hit him in the throat real fast. Pow! With a jab in the throat, right? With an overhand strike. Pow! And he fell. The gun fell. When we secured the gun, got him, cuffed him, right? And the thing about it was, in my mind, even when all that was going on, I still had in my mind from the class that this is a brother. Like, all that's going on in my mind. Like, the point to pull the trigger, that was heavy in my brain. To pull the trigger. But also in my mind was, this is a brother. So I get him up, cuff him, take him to the back of the wagon, right? And it's always happened. Cops come flying in. They heard about what happened, the gun, the chase, and they started trying to whoop his tail. So what I did was, he cuffed, they hit him and everything. I said, yo, what y'all doing? I threw my hand up, and with the left hand, I opened the wagon and tossed him in the wagon and closed it. I said, no, not today. They looked like I'm crazy. I was like, nah, they ain't gonna happen. Get him out of here. That's what he done. You know what I mean? This is one thing that happened that I remember because, and the reason why it's so prevalent is because doing all this going on, the brotherhood class is in my mind. Like, this is still a brother. He messed up, he's screwing up, he effing up, but he's still a black man, he's still my brother, and I still had to protect him and save his life.
Right. That's right. And if I could add a little something to it, and here's the part that them devil cops don't think about. They don't think that part of the reason this brother is doing this crime is because of the oppression you did to him. Right. You know what I mean? It's like the cop ain't innocent either. You know what I'm saying? Like, he might be committing a crime, but your people done oppressed this dick. Pushed him to cut his education off, destroyed his family. put his father on drugs or did whatever, killed, might have murdered him. Now, you guilty too. You know what I'm saying? So while you so, he had a gun, he what? What? Let's whoop his behind. What about what the hell you did? Right. About what the hell your people did for 400 years. Right. Like, that's what a righteous man would be saying. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, well, he is committing a crime. We're going to lock him up. But let's face it, they in this situation because look what we did to him. Right. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't what he thinking. In his mind is he had a gun, he was this, he was that. You know what I mean? Come on, man. A cop still got to protect himself, and I understand that. But he could use wisdom and restraint, like the general bringing out. You see it all day long on YouTube when they get in that situation and they using that restraint. But the brainwashing coming out the walls, it's like, you got that gap? Nigga, mess with me, boy. It's over. Right. Even black people got that mindset. Right. Even we got that mindset. When we get that authority and that power, like he messed with me, I'm gonna do him in. When you got to go to bed at night with that brother, with his death on your mind. And then here's what was so right about it. Thank the Lord, he was already in the truth. But there's a lot of brothers that's not, and they don't know. They're gonna wake up to the truth later on, and they're gonna have to think about them bodies. And that's some horror, that's some nightmares for quite a few brothers. It's gonna be some nightmares over the fact of what you did in that world. You understand? We gotta preserve. Now you can make up for it because we in the truth now. Thank the Lord. We all forgiven, we all brand new. But damn, you know what I mean? It'd be nice if you could avoid it. And certainly the prophets of the Lord is trying to wake the next set of brothers up to make sure they avoid it. That's right. You know what I mean? So that they ain't got to deal with taking somebody's life like that. At least, the lives of the Lord's chosen people. Right. All right. So is that on that? Because I'm dragging on it. Okay, let's go on. Let's go to the next. I'll come through the scriptures that. Let's go on to the other one you pulled. There's so much stuff that went on this week in the news concerning how they've been handling us. This one, you going to Houston? Yes, sir. This story in Houston is twofold. It's a very particular story, okay, and painful in two ways, both with the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Issachar, who right now is under tremendous hell right now. That tribe of Issachar, even the legal ones, are under tremendous warfare against them. Turn that off back there, whatever that is. Whatever it is, turn it off. Yeah, whatever it is, brother. Read on. Go ahead.
The homeless shelter was next, sir.
Come on, hit me.
All right. 16-year-old boy dies after police shoot him in the back and head outside a homeless youth shelter in Arkansas.
He's in front of a homeless youth shelter. Go ahead.
A 16-year-old boy has been shot.
And they black, even though we didn't research the story and these as brothers. Why do you know these as brothers? Because just the nature of the way they getting killed is not no other nation. This ain't happening in no other nation. And brother, they committing crime. General Muhammad brought it out so eloquently. Like these Arabs is getting caught with terrorists. Bombs in their house, machine guns. You know what I'm saying? They busted that mosque down there, not too far from here in the city with all kind of guns and weapons and this and that. But meanwhile, they ain't getting dragged out no cars. They ain't getting shot in the back of the head. Ain't no mistaken identity. Brother, this is going to end when the Lord's prophets get risen up like they did with Peter. It is exactly what happened with Peter. They got risen up, brother, in power, and they pushed them politicians and religious leaders out. And before you know it, the people was listening to them, and their life got better. The scripture said, when the righteous are in reign, the people rejoice. That's right. And that is what needs to happen. Right now, the righteous ain't reigning. And that's why the people are mourning, man. Go ahead, Doc.
Arius Clark was shot Tuesday and died a day later after the incident outside East Arkansas Youth Services in Marion.
He at the youth services to get help. Go ahead.
Officers opened fire shortly after arriving at the facility northwest of Memphis.
That's like that Tamir Rice story. I mean, did you see that video? That cop got out that car, brother, and he had, in seconds, and blew that brother away. In seconds. Right. And blew him away. He wasn't pointing nothing at him or nothing. He got out, saw that BB gun, and murdered that little boy. Go ahead, Doc. And and what police officer does that? You get a call about a suspect with a gun. You drive the car up on the sidewalk, right up to the suspect, and jump out the car. And the minute you see something, you blast. And these people are not. the world was never designed for another nation to be policing another nation.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The world was designed for the Lord's chosen people to rule over all the nations.
That's right, sir.
That's how this place is supposed to be designed. Go ahead,
No one has said why the police were called or whether they felt endangered. Clark's parents said the doctors told them that their son was shot in the back and in the back of his head.
In the back and the back of his head. Dang. Go ahead.
Memphis and Little Rock media reported that 2 Marion officers had placed on paid leave, admin leave, while under investigation moved forward.
Go ahead.
East Arkansas Youth Services. That's it, sir. That's it.
Okay.
That's it, sir.
Oh wait, but did they get to why they said they did it and what was wrong with the boy? Get to that because you got to get that Christians in there. Why he ended up at the youth service. See if it's down there further. I believe it's down further in that story. Because I think this is another story where his people in that church sent him down there. Okay. Yeah, here we go. This Christianity, brother. Them churches, it all comes back to that. Just like Margaret Sanger knew. And Margaret Sanger she was smart. Right. She knew that the key to getting to these black people is they religious leaders. So this is how we're going to work through them to get this abortion done. So if that's the key, then everything else that's happening to us, how is that happening to us? Right. Through those same religious leaders. Right. Them working through them. That's how it's happening to us. So that when it comes to the drugs, the crime, all of it is working through the same channel. Definitely the abortion. Which is why it got to end. It got to end. These scriptures got to become back our Constitution, our Declaration of Independence. Right? You understand? Go ahead.
Family members said he ended up there because he was being disruptive. He was just being unruly, the teen's father told.
Go ahead.
He ran away from home twice, so we needed help with him. We just went from needing help.
He needed help, but he didn't get the right help. Right. He needed help, but he didn't think them brothers with them braids and headbands in the street with them chains on their neck. He didn't think he could get no good help from them guys. Right. He thought he'd get some good help if he go up and see pastor. Pastor say, well, the boy was corrupted, you got to send him down to youth services. They'll take care of him down there. You're going to walk out in the back. Come down to youth services. We're going to be all right. And they sent him down to youth services. Now that brother's dead. And every one of them brothers is precious, man. You know what I mean? Go ahead. Let's say this. Many brothers that came into this truth come out of all walks of life of hell. That's right. And the white man act like you can never get right from no mental illness. Right. Brothers have mental illness and mental breaks from the massive madness they done lived with, what they done grew up under, what they done experienced from being in prison, from all kind of horrors of living in the ghetto. Now that they act like you can't never fix that. Like there's nothing you can do about it. When there's a whole lot you could do about it. You don't know what that brother could have become and could have established and what have happened to him. We done seen it many times. I myself have seen it a ton being in this church. Cats that I thought at one time was like, I don't know who this guy here looked like he needed to be in a hospital somewhere. But the Lord worked with him, man, and get him all the way back. That's right. You understand? Sure. Some of these high ranks up in here was crazy niggas when they came. Some of them was crazy. You understand? And the Lord worked with them. And they up in here brought sane and head straightened out and fixed in the scriptures and solid mentally and right back, you know what I'm saying? And over time, the Lord had mercy on them, man. Build families and, you know what I mean? They ain't perfect. They an inch from snapping on you. You know what I'm saying? They 2 seconds from something going crap. What? You know what I'm saying? But they all right today. You know what I'm saying? They waking up and saving lives. You know what I'm saying? So what the hell, you know what I'm saying? So don't look at where he at. You know what I mean? Christ said he came, he said the whole need not a physician. Right. The ones that need a position are the ones that have issues. Right. Come on with it, huh?
We went from needing help to the next thing we know, he's dead.
Right. They thought they would go to pastor, send him down to youth services. He would be all right, you know. They do whatever they do down there, and that was the end of that, which is ridiculous. Youth services, they wouldn't pick up the phone, call the cops. Cops come in here and blow him the hell away. That's the Christian church. Which is why let me tell you something. You ride through any ghetto in any city in America and see a church in there, the shame they should feel. But go see them on Sunday. It'd be burnt out buildings for 4 square blocks around them. But they coming out to church on Sunday like, woo, in the name of Jesus. Fresh and just no guilt. None whatsoever. Blaming the people, once again, why we ain't gonna never do that no more. It'll be no more blaming of black people and Latino people for what is happening there. You understand? You gonna hear from us if you try to bring it. Well, that's what the hell they've been doing for a long time and been getting over with it. But that's the end. Sitting up in there, you supposed to be ashamed of yourself. In them ghettos, man. Big old church sitting up there, people handing you money hand over fist, and you taking that money, you ain't helping nobody. You ain't fixing nothing. Right. Go ahead, Doc.
So can I say something? Please. And listen, man, let me get Ezekiel 13:5 real quick, man, real fast, man. Because like the gentleman bringing out, our so-called leaders, this is their job to take care of these young brothers and sisters out here who going through all this hell, these homeless shelters, man. They want to make sure a system is in place where no harm or hurt comes to them, man. But they're not. And that's the Christian church, man. That's your so-called leaders. And that's all of them so-called Christian groups out there. You understand? Whether they say Israel or not, they all Christians, man, and it's their fault. Right. And the Lord spoke out against them, and it was why we do it all the time. That's right. You understand? Give me Ezekiel 13:5 real fast, brother.
We are on Ezekiel 13, verse 5. Ye have not gone up into the gaps.
They don't go down, the gaps is the ghetto. Right. The barrio, the reservation, that's the gaps, man. Where we live in. All the death and murder, all the exploitation against us, man. That's the gaps. Go ahead.
Neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel.
Man, you ain't protected us, man. There ain't no protection in the ghetto. There is none. Or the body, all the reservations, man. You're afraid of your own kind. You're afraid of the so-called white man. You can't speak out against the other nation. They're going to do something to you as well, man. We ain't got no protection except for the ISUPK and the honor, man. And it's through the Lord. You understand me? And we ain't got no chance. And them leaders are more concerned with financial gain than protecting us like I was supposed to, man. You understand me? Ain't going to be no compromise when it comes to your people. None. But they compromise for that money. That's why we ain't got no edge in the ghetto. Right. Keep on reading, brother.
To stand in the battle and the day of the Most High.
Let me tell you something, man. The only one standing in the battle of the Lord is us in the ISUPK. Ain't nobody else doing that, man. Everybody capitulates. Everybody compromises and give them a piece of themselves to try to look good and feel good for themselves and other people, man. No, we ain't going to do that, man. No compromise, no compromise in the ISUPK. And we need more of that in them streets, man. And these ghettos of America. We got to go fill these gaps. Put a head to these gaps. Was the ghettos, the bios, and reservations.
Yeah, damn right. Damn right. Let me ask you, if I could. I know I'm all the dad. You want to get into it? What was my ad is that the Christian church. Oh shoot, I lost my thoughts. Boy, I'm thinking about you. Come on, man. He gonna make it out. I'll come back.
Oh man. Go ahead. I want to say I'm just really shocked at black people, man. Really, that really it's just so deep witchcraft on black people to think that white people can care for them when they have always been the ones that destroyed us, to wipe us out. You know what I mean? So many years, and we still talking about the same issues that these white people are doing to us, and black people still got some kind of hope that this white person, that white people will try to treat them right. White people hate you like they hate the Lord's Sabbath.
That's right.
They hate you like, they hate you having more than one wife.
That's right.
Or you rocking the shield. Or you doing, you know what I'm saying? They hate us like they hate the Lord. Because really, if I could, really, black people, man, are supposed to be the ones. They know that we the representatives of the Most High. You know what I mean? And they know that the things they've done against us, that one day they're going to have to pay for.
That's right.
And that's why they keep they keep coming against us and killing us and all that, because really that hatred that the Lord put between, a lot of people don't understand the scriptures when the Lord say, if I get Genesis 3:16 real quick, where he said he gonna put hatred between the serpent seed and the woman.
That's right.
The seed of the woman, meaning her family,
right,
and the serpent's family.
That's right.
Because a lot of people don't understand that scripture. You know what I mean?
It's so deep.
It's real deep, because that hatred is carrying on until
to this day.
To this day.
And if I could, while he pulling that, just I'm gonna get right back. You got it already? He's too fast. real quick. And what's sad about it is we the ones fighting to love them.
Right.
You understand? Like we keep going that route because we so tired of, we already exhausted with having to hate them and having to really deal with our true feelings about what they do. Once again, the OJ trial. The OJ trial, black people was cheering. Why? Because black people wanted victory over these white people for one.
Right.
They're not because of OJ, but because of the pain of the oppression of black people. We want the victory over. But we so tired of fighting for it that we turn around and instead join loving them. And instead, it's so much easier to love them, ignore all that they doing to your people, and then just hope that one day they will be kind to you. Like that feels better than having to resist. I see it with fake Israelite groups. They all capitulate, fall in love, and they already get, kumbaya, and, kiss and hug, and love white people, and love, all the evil that they do, because they don't want to have to resist. They tired of having to resist. When Christ called us to resist, the prophets resisted the people, resisted the nations. When they brought that Edom, I'm coming right back to you. When they brought that Edomite in that Saul let live and brought him in to Samuel, that Edomite said to Samuel, surely the sting of death is, the pain of death is over. Surely you ain't mad no more at all this war and killing. Surely you ready now for some, grapes and wine, and we can all break bread. Samuel pulled out his sword and hacked that Edomite to death. That's right. That's what he did with that sword, because he was not tired of resisting the evil. I ain't telling nobody go out there and hack no Edomite. All right, see, I told you I've been thinking all week about this. Don't go out there. Because yes, some of y'all do have mental illness. Okay? Don't nobody go out there and do the FBI and my daughter to my woman. Sorry, Kate, and just say I need the mice. Don't nobody go do that. What I'm saying is that was the spirit he was in. And that's the spirit, like Paul bringing out, if we supposed to resist. And like you said, they know they're going to have to eventually pay for this.
That's right.
And the sad part is they get to have, we the victim. And the oppressor get to be the one angry and hateful and mad and driving in his pickup truck mad. When you the one that got the abuse.
Right.
You're the one supposed to be mad. In the car angry and and driving up and down on the note's head. Exactly. But instead, we the one, that's how oppressive they are. We the victim and we the one trying to make peace and love. Right. And meanwhile, they the oppressor and they are not trying to make peace and love. Right. Brother, it's a horrible zone. Salam. Good. You can say something too?
Make a heavy point. Ahmad, if you can read that for me, Genesis 3:15.
We are on Genesis 3, verse 15. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. And it shall bruise thy head, and it shall bruise his heel.
Hold on. The Lord said he's going to put enmity between thee and the woman, between the serpent, who we know of is the white man, and between the woman who doesn't. A lot of people think women have seed because they read the scripture. It's saying that that woman comes from a seed. Adam took a woman from his family You understand? And made another family. Right. I mean, created a family. Right. So when it's saying her seed is talking about the seed she comes from, which is the chosen seed. Right. The Lord said He's gonna put hatred between her seed and the serpent seed. Right. So now the Christian church is telling us that we shouldn't hate. Right. They're doing away with what the Lord said. Right.
Trying
to do away with it when white people are. They are in the right spirit, right?
You're right. Right. But we, the ones in the wrong,
right?
They're not standing up and hate them for what they doing to us.
Which we should see the church as suspect.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We don't even look at that. You know what I'm saying? We don't even understand what the scripture's saying.
Exactly. And
that's why you got to come to UPK slot.
No, go ahead. I want you to that was what you bring up. Because if I can add just a little, like how ironic is that the spirit of they in their spirit,
right,
which is to hate us regardless of whether they oppress us or not, right, they can't stand us. Right. Okay, Donald Trump proved that. Right. Donald Trump got in that White House, all whiteness came out together. Right. Listen, a white man over 50, don't take your eye off him when you see him. Right. If you in the 7-Eleven and some white man over 50 walk in there, keep your eye on him. That's right. He got a gun under that shirt. If he got a pickup truck, keep both eyes on him. That's right. You know what I'm saying? Because them older white men out is mad as hell. Right. Because they finally feeling like they can beat that white man privilege, that white rule spirit. They feeling they got it back now because of Donald Trump. And then add something else to add to what Shapar said. Like, how dumb and stupid could we have been to listen to all our religious black leaders who had everybody fooled into thinking that racism was at a minimal level. That's right. It was just a few little crazies still holding on to racism. Remember what did CNN pundits say? We post-racial. We post-racial now. They had us all believing that garbage. And now Trump got in and white people took all their racism right. They snapped back. Like they woke up out of sleep. Like, both of them back. And full of hatred for us. Right. Meanwhile, we not, like you said, we not resisting them. And listen, anybody, I've been saying this for years, anybody telling you that the white man is not the devil the Bible speaks of, they are lying to you. That's right. Because Shapar brought the scripture out plain when the Lord said, thy seed shall have enmity with his seed. That's right. So you sit up there thinking there's some kind of way you're going to find common ground with this oppressor. You are out of your mind because biblically it say that that's an impossibility. Right. So anybody that's going down that road like them churches is going, they're going down that road because they seeking something on that road that ain't from the Lord. Right. They seeking peace. They seeking, money, wealth. Whatever it is that's on that road that they think they can get, they on that road to get it. They telling you they on that road because they serving the Lord. But that's a lie because the Lord said that he ain't on that road. Right. He on a different road. Right. He on the road that said they're going to be in between the two, like Shapar bringing out. So how the hell you going to get on that road thinking you going to get something done? We got to love our nation. That's right. We got to love something deep, brother. You understand? We got to love them something deep because let me tell you something. It wasn't until I woke up to how much we care for us and not them that my mind started to open up at how much I was missing about our people all around me. Like it was like once you start looking at it's like anything. What do they say? Something is the mother of invention. What's how that term go? Necessity. Necessity is the mother of invention. That's true. When you in a situation where you got a necessity, where you in a need, then you gonna invent a way to do what it is that you need to do. But if you believe your oppressor really love you, ain't gonna take care of you, ain't gonna give you everything you need, then you don't think you need anything. So you're not trying to invent no way to survive. Right. So when that oppressor do like he did in Detroit, pull out all his businesses, he buries your city. That's why right. He buries your city? Right. Because you didn't think you needed anything because you trusted him. That's right. When you should have been looking at him like he was not the friend, but that he was the devil. Then you gonna say to yourself, we need this. Let me tell you something. Reality come in this. You don't need diamonds no more. All that, what do you need diamonds for? You need other things to survive. You need food, clothing, and shelter, and things like that. I got about 3 minutes. Let me do this last story, y'all, because this is a good one right here. This is our Latino community is in hell, up under these people out. Like that President SHALAM. That president, brother, and gave the green light to abuse our brothers, man.
That's right.
And brother, and they hiding and suppressing it every way they can. And them Latino, let me tell you something, them Latino leaders, them bastards in them Latino churches keeping it quiet too.
That's right.
Like they supposed to be translating all these horrors and getting these translations out to us, so that everybody see what's going on. By the time they get this information on what is happening to the Latino tribes out, it'll be a Holocaust under these bastards, man. Go and read the story, Haas, if you could.
Come on, come. San Jose Tyler bitten by police dog.
And if I could, Salakia, Haas, one more sidebar. When I'm watching that show from the 90s, all the stories got to do with blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. Now, they didn't have the truth. They doing a documentary of the 90s. They didn't have the truth. Meanwhile, the stories is all black, Latino, and Native Indian. Why is it these three is the main one targeted? I'll tell you why. Because them same founding fathers, the Masons, them secret groups, they all know who the 12 tribes are. Right. Adam Weishaupt, all of them cats knew who the 12 tribes were, and they knew what they were doing. They knew who they had to keep oppressed to keep their society going. Remember, they studied them Egyptian record. You Negroes think, them Negroes out here thinking they studied Egypt. You ain't studied no Egypt. Right. Them Masons studied Egypt. Right. And they studied how the society went. Why you think you got every religion here? Ain't no religions banned in America for a reason. The whole reason is because they understood that the Egyptian Empire had all these gods to appease all types of people. Right. Why? So that they could bring them all into Egypt to make Egypt wealthy and powerful. And that's how they made it wealthy. This ain't no mistake. Right. This empire was built as a carbon copy of ancient Egypt. Right. And it was built with the knowledge of knowing that if we build it the same way, if we put the slaves in it, we will have the greatest empire in the world. And they got the greatest empire in the world. Only problem is they ain't counting on what happened to ancient Egypt happening again. Go on, Haas. Tell them about this.
San Jose Tyler bitten by police dog as they search for wanted felons.
Go ahead.
The girl is recovering from 6 stitches, and now the family is demanding answers from the department. San Jose police said they were serving a search warrant at a home on Byrd Avenue where the police came out and attacked the little girl.
18-month-old baby in the house. Go ahead.
The police dog bit and dragged 18-month-old Arabella onto the floor off the couch. As officers said, they had searched for wanted felon.
Like these is monsters, man. Okay, and I'm gonna shorten the story since the time is up. They kicked. You got the video of it? They kicked it before you read the video, brother. They kicked the door and take the grandmother out the house because you know they're coming in aggressive. They ain't listening to a damn thing you saying. Putting everybody on the floor and then let the bastard in with the damn canine dogs. Right. You understand? Like you supposed to get him after you done did the search and you can't find him. Then you bring the canine in. But these bastards bring him in from the door and almost kill this little baby. Go ahead.
Two San Jose parents want justice after a police dog bit their 1-year-old daughter. It happened last week as officers tried to track down one of the girl's relatives. KPIX5's Devin Feely says the family met today with San Jose police. Devin?
Yeah, that little girl was bitten by the police canine in the house behind me here. Now, the San Jose Police Department is not talking on camera.
Okay, go ahead. Let's go ahead. Look at that.
When the canine clamped down on her daughter, San Jose police say they were trying to serve Pena's brother with an arrest warrant. But when officers and the dog entered the house, things quickly went awry.
After the dog came in, the first thing the dog did was bit my daughter. He bit her on her back, and she wasn't doing anything provoking the dog.
Arabella was left with a nasty bite mark on her back. She was rushed to the hospital where doctors needed 6 stitches just to close the wound. Today, her parents met with a representative from the city in part to promote healing after this painful.
All nice now, like the dog was and 6 stitches on one of us is nothing. But 6 stitches on the back of an 18-year-old toddler might as well be a third of her damn back. But these people are monsters, man. They're animals, man. You understand? And now, 20 years from now, when she's 22 and got tattoos all over herself and carrying an AK-47 and throwing up gang signs and robbing banks, they'll be, see, what's wrong with them? They're lawless. They don't know how to act right. Yada. When for the next 18 years, every time she go out on a date or meet a new boyfriend, she gonna go look in that mirror before she put that dress on, and she gonna see them scars on her body. And when that date don't go right, she gonna go home, and in the back of her mind, she gonna say to herself, "It's cause these scars I got on me. That's why he don't like me." It ain't gonna be true, but it'll be in her mind. And when she become an adult, then of course she gonna act out on this nonsense that's happening right here. Like, this is what they don't give a damn about none of that. You understand? But listen, we should, and we should. And in the name of Yahweh, Shem Yahushua, we'll fix that entire situation. That's right. We'll get it all fixed. I want to tell everybody to pay their tithes and support this truth, man. Your tithes are absolutely important. Do not slack on your tithes, especially now. We got a lot of projects on the table right now. We're working on real hard. We definitely need everybody's support. Do not slack. Do not miss the time when you're supposed to pay your tithe. Do not take it lightly at all. Also, August 5th, right? I got it right. August 5th, New York City. I hear that all this Saturday. Brothers is doing it up in New York City. Cats is already knocking them, the New York posse. They having their barbecue, they're getting it in. I heard brothers coming in from all over the place. I see you up there, New York City, this Saturday, y'all. We out of here.
Check this shit out, man. Check this out there. It's like you out there in the street, man.
Israel. ISUPK presents the Lord's 56th annual Passover going down right here in Atlanta, Georgia. We got a whole bunch of events lined up for y'all, including the annual lamb slaughter. You already know. Then it's the Hebrew Academy trial. Oh boy. Next we got the children's party. Then you know we got Jeremiah Hyman's scripture breakdown class and the Hebrew Academy graduation. The Lord's 56th annual Passover. Pay your Passover fee. It's only $200 to get all these exclusive events. Real black culture. The general's in attendance and the stage is set. It's going down. April the 12th in Atlanta, Georgia. This event is only for the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indigenous people. We got a week full of events from April the 9th and the 13th. But remember, you got to pay that Passover fee. It's only $200 to get every event exclusively. Here's the itinerary for the Lord's 56th annual Passover. April the 9th is the annual lamb slaughter. April the 10th is the kids party. At 7 p.m. later that night, Jeremiah Hyman's scripture breakdown class. April the 11th, the Hebrew Academy graduation. Later that night at 8 p.m. is the all-black party. April the 12th is the Lord's 56th annual Passover. April the 13th is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. $200, 17 years or older, pay your Passover fee. See you in Atlanta, Israel. Shalom.